Today, the task is tackling the dreaded low beam bulb replacement in the Mercedes GLK, the X204 platform. It's kind of notorious. It's not really as tough as you might think. And you might ask, well, that looks pretty bright, pretty white compared to the original halogen. Why are you replacing it? Well, I used a small form factor LED bulb that I thought would work out. The problem is, listen. Can you hear that? There is one panel off this, one inspection panel, but it is just basically that loud with it on as well. And worse, you can hear it in the car. So it's coming out. I'm going to put a more traditional style bulb. These are nice. They're very bright. I've tested them. They've got this unique rotatable base, so you can actually rotate the element in any direction you like for best beam focusing. And you can also take this this off and install it in cars where the clip folds down over the top of the bulb and where the fan itself would get in the way. So really nice design. Seems to be very highly rated, so let's get started on it. Alright, I've got the locating tab, which goes down in this case in the headlight, located where it comes from the factory. Apparently that's their standard process, standard alignment for the bulb. And this is what you're starting with. That's pretty much the alignment inside the headlight unit. And the first thing I did was I pushed the clip up. As you can see in this portion, you can see the clip is now higher than it started, which opens up the rest of the clip around the base of the bulb, allowing you to move it out. Now you can see the clip is no longer in front of the bulb, so I was able to reach in with my dry, scaly desert hands and snatch the bulb out and ready to install the new one. And now it's just a matter of putting the bulb into the housing. Again, paying attention to the alignment. So in this case, the cord goes up and it gets pushed in until until it's locked into place, or you can feel the base kind of fall into place. I'm pushing the ballast, the decoder, whatever, resistor, whatever you want to call it, inside where there's plenty of room to knock around in there. I'm going to put the covers back on and go ahead and measure the light output. Okay, other than having a marker light out, the difference is still pretty spectacular. The camera's struggling to, let's see if I can adjust the light here just a little bit, the aperture. I don't know if you can see, but that's the halogen bulb. This is the new LED bulb. Obviously much brighter. Maybe a better indication is to stand back and just take a look. I've set this white cardboard about equidistant, and better yet, I have an app here that measures the actual light output, and it's a little hit and miss because it relies on this one tiny little photocell here that does all the readings. So there's a little bit of variability in the beam, but move it around, and we're doing 55 to 6500 lux, and it's just a relative term. It doesn't even matter. I'm just going to compare it to the LED. So 55 to 6500, clearly a lot more. 12 to 13 or even 15,000. So we're talking double or more light output from the same projector housing. And you can tell, although it's a little too close for a true focus, but you can see that the focus is actually very good. It looks very much like the the other one. I'll be able to do a better alignment once I get it out. In a dark environment with a white wall, maybe 50 to 100 feet away, you can really get check the pattern and also the adjustment. I should also mention that this bulb is not perfectly quiet. I don't know if you can hear that at all. It's just clearly much quieter than the one it replaces. And the trick is, can you hear it in the car? By the way, the side marker light is the one that's out. It has nothing to do, and the license plate light, So the the joys of buying a used car. So with the windows up, you really won't be able to hear that in the cockpit at all. So I'm happy with that, and I'll put the other one in now. All right, the left side bulb, driver's side in the US, is more intimidating. One thing I'll tell you is you do have to pry these cables out of that hole, and in the process you'll probably do what I did and break the little tab. I could not get it out intact, try as I might. Not a big deal. One coincidental thing to watch out for is this line runs down to your windshield washer pump and it runs up to the windshield washer nozzles up there. And if you pull on it too hard, it will disconnect and it will dump your entire bottle of windshield washer on the floor. Ask me how I know. Any rate, this one, I've already removed the cap. You can see it's way back in there. It's got really pretty lousy access, but moving these lines is really, you've done about everything you're going to do. This is a little bit in the way, but you can work around it. I don't have small hands by any means, but I was able to get in there and push the little release up and pull the bulb out. And here's that direct comparison between the original bulb and the new bulb. You can see the filament is right there. It's a little squiggly part held in place by those two wires. It's exactly the same height between the two, so that's why it focuses properly. And due to the space constraints, I'm going to go ahead and plug this one in, make sure it's correct, and then insert the bulb with it plugged in, because it's just really hard to reach in there after the fact. Lights on. Nothing going on here. Time to reverse the plug. Yeah, that's more like it. Oh, except I may be blind now. This is like looking into an active welding spot. And due to the tight constraints and the difficulty in reaching the clip to push down, on top of this, there's just not enough clearance above this cord. I'm going to put this one in 90 degrees out so that the cord is facing to the outside of the car. Once I get it in and locked down, then I'll rotate it to the proper angle. Of course, the base will stay where it needs to be, but the light bulb will be aligned properly. So again, I'm sorry I won't be able to show this process. There's just not room in there for my hand. The cords, the light bulb, and the endoscope. I've tried, it's just not going to work. So you have to do it blind, and you have to feel for this notch and the corresponding notch on the female receptacle on the light housing, and make sure that they're lined up, and then push it flush. At that point, you can bring down the wire clip to lock it in place. Okay, success. Again, I got a good pattern. If you don't get it aligned exactly right, you'll see kind of a hot spot or two. It'll be kind of a funny, odd-looking pattern. First time I tried, one side was not flush with the housing, so the bulb was just slightly skewed, and it was enough to throw a really ugly pattern. But right now I've got two really nice-looking, very bright white patterns. So time to seal it all back up.